In today's video, we are once again announcing a new sponsor to the truck. Customs Unlimited has us set up with 6 of their high-intensity rock lights for the truck here. And the only reason we're only doing 6 is because if you've watched any videos before, you were probably aware that there are already 11 Lux rock lights on this thing. But I got about 6 positions. I think we can get rid of all of our shadows and just add some more light because it's fun. So we're going to get these 6 thrown on there. And then we also have some of those RGBW ATV side-by-side light whip things that are coming. And we're going to put those on the back of the truck as well. But that will be a separate video. So we're going to get these mounted up and show you what they look like. Now, you can buy them in a pack of 12, or they do come individually packaged. You got your bolt and your lock nuts, and then you get your light with its little rubber base there in each package. Got our first 2 mounted under the front frame rail here. We did use self-tappers, so I'm going to cut those down and dab a little bit of black paint on there. It's going to hold just fine, and I have better uses for the nicer hardware that did come with the rock lights. And then back here, for our farthest rear ones, we went on the bottom of the leaf spring hanger there. The rubber mounts made that not perfectly level surface work out for us. But for our center ones here in the frame, the only spot down there on both sides is completely doubled up thickness on the metal. And no matter what we try to drill into it, it is not going at all. So I'm going to go find me some magnets. JB weld the magnets to the bottom of these center 2 and just stick them up to the frame like I did with all of my other lights. As you can see there, that is a rock light itself, and it has really strong magnets built into it, so you just stick it up on the bottom of the frame. So I will just simply recreate that, but it's going to go right there in front of the traction bars on each side. The only real shadow that currently exists is there's a rock light right there. And so there's a small line from the traction bars there, because the rock lights were there before the traction bars. So if we put one here, given as bright as these Custom Unlimited lights are, I'm hoping it will fan out and kind of take care of that right there as well. And then we do have one in the very center trans cross member. So having all that bright light right here will make up all the difference that we didn't have before. I got my spare bag of all the excess rock light wire I have cut off from previous installs. So I'm going to get these front 2 tied in to start because they're going to be the easiest. Then I will move on to the middle and the back. So it said it was recording for the time lapse on the two back here, but the video is nowhere to be found. So now the rear is done, on to the two middle, then I'll go over all the wiring with you, and I will also go over all of the other currently mounted rock lights and where they are positioned. Now for our center ones here, you'll see we've done some modification. These are going in the very center of the frame, and the only available places left in the middle of the frame are the doubled up sections, and we have tried every drill bit on the property, and it is just not going. So I have taken an old ruler here, cut 4 1-inch pieces, adhered them to the back here, and then I'm going to take some black paint, go around the sides here so it disappears, and then I'm just going to adhere it right to the bottom of the frame. And the spacers are to make sure that our wire does not get damaged and it can sit nice and flat. The JB weld I'm going to use will be plenty to hold the light up there forever and ever. But if for some odd reason I do need to pull it off, I will also be able to do so, and it's not going to mess anything up. But this is a forever truck. That's the plan at least, so I see no reason that these rock lights should ever have to come off again. Sides are all painted up nice and black. And I'm sure you're on the other side of the screen going, wow, that looks... what a hack job. And I know it does sound a little hacky, but once we get it under there, it's going to come together real nice, I'm thinking. Many hours of laying on the hard concrete later, and I am done. Alrighty, for the two on the front, I do still have to trim those bolts and dab some black paint, but I took the wires up, run them through the frame rail. Those are also up through the frame rail. And then those two wires right there are also rock light wires, which go, and right on the back side of this bar here, they meet together for the rock light that you can't see on the other side of this bar, which is that wire. So they all make their connection right there and light up at the same time, nice and neat. Then for the ones back here on our leaf spring hangers, there is a wire. It goes right up the back side of it, you can't see it there. And right up above the shackle there, there's a hole in the frame, which is where I snuck that wire right through. And then I'm not crawling back under there, my apologies, but that wire runs nice and tucked along here, and it goes and taps into that rock light there, and that wire goes up to that hole in the frame that I was telling you, which is that wire right there. Same exact hole on the other side, and they go right along the back side of this frame rail there. You can kind of see it poking through that hole. That's the wire there. And it goes over. Then, I don't know if you'll be able to see. Maybe. Oh, you can. Okay, so right in there, on the bottom side of the bed, you can see another rock light. Well, that wire goes right about there before it runs down with the other wires. All the wheel lights and the train horn wires, blah, blah, blah. And so right behind here is where those two tap into that rock light there. And then for the center ones, I don't have a choice but to get back on the ground, unfortunately. So, one moment. And we made it to the ground. We are on the passenger side. That's the transmission. It's our front right wheel there. So this is our first one on the front. Then we have the one we just added there, which connects into the wiring right there conveniently. And then if you look down the way, there's another one right there. Then we also have one there in the center cross member. We've got one down there. You can't see it on the frame rail, just where that one there is located. Then right behind the air dog there is the new one we just added, which also conveniently taps into wiring right there. And then we have the front one for that side as well. We of course have one in each fender well, and then there is one currently in the center of the grill there, but I have some red LED strips. I think I'm going to outline the whole surround of the grill, nice and hidden. Also wire those into the rock lights so that the grill lights up and glows red. And then I will just take that rock light that's there and find it a new home somewhere under the truck. Not that it needs it, because that puts us up to 17 rock lights under it, and then the one behind the grill. But the more the merrier, right? To recap, that puts 1 and 2 at the front corners of the frame, and a third on the bottom of the steering stabilizer bar there. And on our frame rail, we've got 1, 2, 3 on each side, with the one in the center cross member right there as well. And back here, we got the 2 we added under the leaf spring shackle mounts there today, and then the pre-existing one in the middle center of the bed. Lastly, we got 1 fender well light. We got 2 fender well lights, 3 fender well lights, and the 4th fender well light. Now we just gotta wait for it to get dark and see how it looks. There we go. Now we're talking. It was pretty bright before, but it just kind of lacked just a little bit. But now that we got these rear ones that take our lights and make it all the way bright, clear out to the edge of the bed and bumper, that fills in the whole back area. That dead spot in the middle is obviously very much taken care of. And I did trim the hardware and paint it up there and over there.